are the same people who said Buhari is dead, and we are dealing with JUBRIL. Babajide Kola Otitoju debunks fake news. A couple of hours ago, popular Nigerian investigative journalist and news editor Babajide Kolade Otitoju debunked a report published by a newspaper on social media and credited to him. According to this fake report, Babajide had made some comments about the presidency in 2023, where he was alleged to have said that the only reason why Northerners will support the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu is that they want Kashim Shettima to take over after the 2023 elections, just like Jonathan did after Yar'Adua's exit. However, reacting to the fake report on Journalist Hangout, a politics program aired by TVC News on Monday, Babajide called the publishers of the report cowards who sit on social media. He said, "The people who came up with this story are the same people desperate to ensure that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his running mates do not win the election. So they come up with the claim that I said that the reason Northerners are supporting Tinubu is because they think the Yar'Adua scenario will happen. The same people told us that Buhari was even dead and buried and that it was Jubril we are dealing with. There is nothing that I say that I cannot defend. I am not a coward, but the kind of comments that they claim that I made, there is no way I'll make them, even if I staggered out of the bed sleepwalking. I am a Northerner." Concluding, the investigative journalist urged people to disregard such fake reports. Well, of course, as we know, social media or newspapers, or just media in general, have to clarify what they are saying. And, if we're going to investigate, we have rights to ask this newspaper and say, okay, who's your source? Where did you get it? Did you do an interview with Otitoju? Did you hear anyone say that? Was it in writing? What is your source of what you're saying? And to be honest, in this case, it just seems like Bolaji Otitoju is not necessarily defending himself, because he says, I will not say what I cannot defend. And, well, you really you haven't defended yourself. You've just debunked and just said it's not true and you expect us to just believe. Again, whether you choose to believe what he's saying or not, the fact of the situation is that, given the political climate and given the intensity of conversations regarding the 2023 elections, a lot of news will be flying around. And that is why it is very much important that if you are on the consuming part or the receiving end of all of this that is going on, it is your duty to then filter out what you will listen to and what you will not, because everything that's presented to you is either as news from whatever platform, it's the newspapers, radio, social media, whatever it is. It's either it is true or it's not true, or misrepresented, or the source may not be as accurate, or there are underlying meanings to what is just right in front of us. So we can get a headline that says A plus B is this, and really what it's trying to say is that, what it's trying to say is that 1 plus 1 is 2. Again, my point is, a lot of what is going on right now to us might just seem like news, but then to the characters involved in an underlying, or on the other side, these may just be characters going at each other. It's the same thing with APC and PDP using their tactics. For the fact that they would use their director generals against one another and use their director generals of their campaigns as basically their spokesperson to come at each other, but then obviously you can't say that they said their spokesperson would have to represent them. So it's the same way. It's like, okay, fine, people are going back and forth. So a lot of what you hear, the whole essence of this is you don't just take news as it is. And if you choose to believe what somebody says, you also have to check it with yourself. If this is something that you choose to believe what aligns your values, or the fact that, I will check other resources and see what they say before I make a decision on what to believe. But then, in this age, let's be realistic. Whatever news comes out, it spreads like wildfire, and everyone just believes. And the likelihood and the probability to just believe, of course it is there. We're not going to ignore that. But again, this just emphasizes that we should be careful. Now, the allegation itself that, the Northerners are supporting APC because they want a similar Yar'Adua situation, I don't necessarily know what to say to that. I would not say it is far-fetched, because for those who are power hungry, well, when you say the Northerners, well, which Northerners? Are you talking about the average northerner or northern elites? We have to understand the interest, because it's like, okay, fine, if you look at the interest of the average northerner, what is it? Is it their interest, or is it manufactured and influenced and conditioned by whoever in society is telling them what, just for them to comply? And then on the side of the northern elites, then what is their own aim? Is it to remain in power? So when you understand these interests, you have to understand, so who is this benefiting anyways? You decide for yourself. But now this allegation, whether Babajide or Toju said it or not, the allegation has been brought forward. So we can also discuss what it is. So do you think that the Yarda situation would likely occur, and would that be a driver to northerners, or, to northern elites, or even average northerners trying to push for this same thing? Now, these are questions that we can ask outside of the whole allegation situation. But personally, I don't necessarily have a specific opinion I can say. All we can really do here is dissect and look at different aspects and perspectives on what the allegation is. Okay. How many times have you seen the so-called Buhari and his wife Aisha together? The Buhari that no longer remembers to go for treatment abroad. Ask yourself why. Well, this whole JUBRIL situation, what I personally think is, it doesn't really matter. It's very relevant. Fact is, if things are being hidden from, the problem with Nigeria is not JUBRIL or the identity of whoever is there. Whoever is there, the country has fundamental problems. The country has deep-rooted issues that have to do with the standard of living, the quality of life, the health, the education, the economy, purchasing power of an average citizen, the value of work in Nigeria. These are all issues that were there before Buhari or his twin brother or JUBRIL came into office. So then we cannot afford to distract ourselves by asking who is actually in office. Because before these allegations of JUBRIL came, Buhari had already been inconsistent and incompetent anyways. So what does the mistaken or replaced identity do for us? Nothing than just create drama and conversation that will lead nowhere. We have to realize that we cannot afford to be distracted. And I think with the way politics has been in Nigeria for a lot of the time, I mean, things will just happen, like, for example, ridiculous things like snakes swallowing money, monkeys swallowing money, just funny things happening. I mean, it seems like politics is actually our Nollywood. Fact is, things happen, news will always be pouring in, but as the people who want to achieve anything, we cannot afford to get distracted, because we sway our focus on what the issue actually is. So, what is the point of talking about JUBRIL? It's so irrelevant. And again, it's showing in how things are right now, and how everyone is still talking about the Muslim ticket, and we will keep talking and talking and talking, even though it takes weeks, until something drops again, another bomb, and then another conversation starts. So many conversations within this, but not too unimportant for us to think about. Put what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.